So sometimes you can get kind of frustrated with doing body work just because of the stupid stuff you have to deal with. When you do it yourself, when you damage a part yourself, that's when I get the most upset. But I bought some new primer today, and they actually had some in stock here in town at my O'Reilly store. They're trying to sell paint now. It was about $100 a gallon, so that was pretty good. And we're going to work on the hood, get the cowl sanded out, try to get the other side prepped for primer. Just moving on, man. If I can get this stuff in primer and block sanded out, hopefully we'll be shooting some paint on this thing. Okay, Monday morning. It's supposed to be really pretty here in Nashville. It's supposed to be 70 degrees today. So I am going to try to get as much done as I can. Here's the hood, and that's where I dented it last night. Here's where I had thrown the block sander. It's about 45 right now. I'm going to see about sanding this down. Damn it. Got our Harbor Freight package in today from the brown parts truck. And for 99 bucks I got this kit, and you've got 4 of the black bed liner coatings, the activator, and it comes with a spray gun for 99 bucks. So that's a pretty good deal, and we'll see how it works once we start doing the back of the thing. Got a gun stand because I couldn't find mine. That's really, they're handy to have when you're doing when you're trying to pour paint in. It's nice to have something to hold your filter. Probably have to put a clamp or something on that stupid thing. So pretty excited about getting this in. I'll put it up now for now because we're not at that point. Okay, out in the sun feels good. I finished block sanding down the hood on the sides, and it looks really good, except for where I dented it. Retarded. The trees are a pain in my ass because it's like, you don't think any of that would fall off and get into your paint job, do you? Okay, so anyway, it blocked out really nice, and we're gonna wipe it down one more time. This needs one more coat of primer, or maybe 2, where I've dented it. And then the cowl section looks really nice. We're going to shoot one more coat of primer on it and block sand it. And that should be, from feeling this one, it feels close enough where it should be ready to go. We're going to use our dry guide coat on it, make sure that there's no low or high spots. But from feeling it and everything else, it looks good. I'm going to put one more coat of primer on it because I've got a couple little bitty low spots right there, which should block out when we're done. They could block out now, but we're going to hit it. Went down, instead of the polyester primer, which is really super thick, and I had a hard time getting it out of my gun, and it's a pain in the butt, we're going to use a 2X urethane primer. Urethane is a 1:4 mix ratio. It's a little bit less expensive. This is made by DuPont. It's Nason. Roughly $100, $105 for the activator and the primer. It's not quite as thick, but it does spray out a lot smoother. So I'm really happy about spraying this. We're going to see how it shoots out, but we should be in good shape with that. So we're going to crack this crap open. Nice. And it's just like the polyester, it's got a lot of solids in the bottom. So I'm going to take a few minutes and get this stuff stirred up before we go any further. Okay, so I got the primer, the 2X primer, put on the hood and the cowl here. And let me tell you something, this primer was it laid down smooth. You can see how smooth that surface is, and it is thick. I mean, I got a bunch of layers on this stuff, so got to give it enough time to dry. But I had so much better luck with this than the polyester primer. I used a quart of this and was like, what else can I prime? It went on very far. I had a low air pressure, so it laid down real nice, and it is smooth, so that's a good thing. This should wet sand down fairly well. Hopefully it may not need any more primer after this, or one light coat. So I was really pleased with that. and that is a 2X primer rather than the polyester. It's a urethane 2X 4-to-1 mix. So that's what I used on this. So it was sweet. Hey, it's David from Redneck Garage. Man, it's a pretty day out here in Nashville. It's about 68 degrees. Supposed to get up to 70 today. Got work to do on the Jeep, but one of my employees decided that he would let the clutch master cylinder go dry. And I've been messing around with this Ford Ranger a little bit. Today I'm going to have to put in a clutch slave cylinder, or it's actually the master cylinder, which goes underneath the pedal because it ran dry. I couldn't get it to prime back up, so I'm kind of pissed about that I got to fix something because they didn't put fluid in it. Anyway, things are going well with the Jeep. I'm trying to condense the videos down a little bit because it gets boring to say, hey, I'm doing wet sanding today. Well, yeah, you did wet sanding yesterday. Yeah, and I did it the day before too. When you're doing these videos, you got to try to, in your mind, think of how much information do you want to do. Does it make it interesting and help someone, or does it just get redundant? So that's kind of where I'm at with this. I'm trying to condense these down into a couple days of what I've done on the Jeep. So I'll be getting you caught up on where we're at. Yesterday was a good day. I didn't dent anything, and the primer, I'm going to give it a huge endorsement on what kind of primer we used yesterday. I got to go run more call with the real job of locksmithing, and then I'll be back and we'll go do a recap. And then I get to work on a Ford Ranger. Yay! Okay, I got the clutch cylinder fixed on the Ranger, and I can tell you that engineer Johnny was at work on that piece of crap. There's no bleeder on the master cylinder, so you got to wait for the bubbles to come up. It's just retarded, totally stupid. Anyway, I gave it back to my guy and said, don't let it run dry again or I'll kill you. So let me just do a walk around. I'll tell you where we're at on the Jeep before I do any more videos. Okay, so just a note on primers again. The 2K urethane primer works so much better than the polyester primer. Polyester primer possibly could have been just a little bit thicker, but I was able to lay down 3, 4, 5 coats in this in areas, and it came out super smooth compared to the polyester, which was just all jackified and crackly. So this is how it came out on the hood, and I mean it is smooth. Wet sand's better. So I would suggest using the 2K primer rather than the other one. Now you can see that I started wet sanding on here. I'm ready to put the guide coat on it. There's a couple little dimples from where the primer is, which is about where I wanted to be for the guide coat. But it's smoothing down nice. I wet sanded on yesterday just a little bit. Got the front end masked off of the condenser, ready for a little bit of primer on the front cowl section. Wet sanded on the fender. And I started my bodywork on this side. It had 2 spots here and back quarter panel that needed a little bit of filler. So I still have to sand those down. I had a little bit of rust repair right there, and I did a little rust repair on this corner, which is going to be covered. Not too worried about that. So that's where I'm going. I'm going to go ahead and start working on this, and then I'll shoot another video. Alright, just give you little tips. This side sanded out fairly well. It's got a little low spot here, a little here, here, and right there on that edge. Now I'm going to take some of my Evercoat and just put a really slow, you want to go around about here and here, put a real thin coat on it and go with like 100 grit on the air file, and that should fix that up. Now I wanted to show you on this front section. I started sanding, and right when I started sanding, see here, right here, those are high spots, definite high spots, and they've got to be knocked in a little bit and a little more filler put on. You're never going to get that smooth because it's too high right there. So I'm going to do that, put a little more Bondo on it, and then we'll keep on sanding. But that's what you're looking for, is for high spots. You can see here, here, and here, those are just high. We're going to fill those and then go from there. Alright, so I've been busting it for about the past 4 hours. I'm dusty and dirty, but I got a lot accomplished. Let me give you a close-up of what I was working on this side. Alright, today I concentrated on getting this bodywork done on this side, and it looks really good. Got the low spots, had a couple highs and lows that I had to fix. Then I put some Evercoat, mixed. One of the tricks that you can use is to get a real smooth finish is take Evercoat, your thin polyester filler and mix it about 50-50 with your Bondo, and it will give you a really smooth layout. Now this looks really good. We will put about 5 or 6 coats of primer on it tomorrow, and then we can start wet sanding this down. Once we get this side done, everything's in primer basically for the body, and just some minor stuff. Get the doors prepped, ready to rock, baby. Ready to rock. All right, so it's beer time, and I am drinking a Blue Moon, and Jerry, that really is one of my favorite beers. You've probably tried it before. Basically, we're at the point of no more body work and just a bunch of priming and wet sanding. Tomorrow, hopefully, I'll get this one side in primer. We can start blocking it down, use our guide coat, primer the front end, some wet sanding, and not much left. The doors and the trunk, get them prepped to be ready to paint this baby. So I'm hoping in about a week or less we're ready to shoot. I'm going to go take a shower and get some of this dust off me. I'm David from Redneck Garage. Keep saying it.